congrats on being here with me today because did you know that right now is in fact the best time to be applying for scholarships? Many full rides and bigger awards that give out more money have deadlines right around this time frame. So, now if you're joining this webinar, there is likely more than one reason as to why. For one, perhaps you've applied to scholarships, but you keep getting rejected, or you don't know anything about how to win scholarships. You applied for the FAFSA, but was barely awarded anything, if not any grant money at all. Or perhaps you are ineligible for the FAFSA. You don't want to take out student loans, or perhaps you're already taking out student loans and you're sick and tired of it, or you are tired of working multiple jobs just to make ends meet for your education. Just about all these frustrations listed on this screen, I was in the same exact boat as you are right now. So you are by far not alone in this process, and there is a way out of it. So, the next slide. I wanted to put this out here. So a lot of people don't know this, but it is predicted that by 2023 or 2024, the total student loan debt will reach $2 trillion. But guess what? Earlier this year, I graduated debt-free with 26 scholarships for undergrad and 4 scholarships for grad school, which I am currently in. And of those 26 undergraduate scholarships, can you guess how many I won as a current college student and how many I won as a high school student? So I won 12 scholarships during my college junior and senior year, 14 during my high school junior and senior year, and then 4 scholarships for grad school. And as you can see on your screen, these are some of the scholarships listed that I won over the years. And also here are some of the award letters that I got from certain scholarships. And as you can see, a lot of them came from like journalism, media related organizations, because I, during undergrad, majored in broadcast journalism. And right now in grad school, I'm studying public relations. And here are some of the students I have helped over the years win millions of dollars in scholarships themselves and graduate debt-free, or some of which are still in school right now with zero student loan debt. And as you can see, these students come from various demographics, each have different study concentrations such as art, science, nursing, business, accounting, you name it. And this is why the motto for my business is less owing loans, more owning scholarships. And speaking of student loans, did you know that there are scholarships that can, in fact, pay that off? As an example of this, I literally had a student just last month win a scholarship that fully paid off her student loan debt. So yes, even if you have already graduated with loan debt, you can have your college tuition from those years prior paid off. So now, when it comes to my approach for teaching others about scholarships, I always think back to this famous quote: give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Now, many times people approach me asking if I can find a scholarship for them. However, my main focus is teaching you how to win because that will help you so much more in the long run. So here is what we will be covering today: from common scholarship mistakes that prevented me and others for the longest from winning, misconceptions that prevent people from applying for certain scholarships, little known facts about scholarships that can increase your winning chances, the qualities and the skills you need in order to win back-to-back awards, my professional background in journalism and all the news coverage I've gotten over the years for what I do, and etc. So before all that, first let's go over how I got started. So back in 2017, I won this scholarship, as you can see on your screen, during my senior year of high school from a hospital I had been volunteering at for several years. Before I received my award at the ceremony, I was notified of being a winner via the mail, like physical mail. And my mom happened to open my mail up for me. And when she did, she was crying along my bedside. Now, keep in mind that I was asleep, and imagine waking up to your parent crying on their knees with their head hanging low. Like, I thought something tragic had happened to someone we knew in our family, and my heart dropped. But when when she handed me that award letter, it said that I had won a $4,500 scholarship. And so after I saw her reaction, that was when I realized something: that the expertise that I have built that the expertise that I have built over the years on what it takes to win scholarships, that I need to share this with others. I need to make it more well known. So that's when I started my business, Scholarship Guru, and began to help others. As you can see on your screen, students win scholarships ever since. So now I wanted to go over some of the most common scholarship misconceptions. And these are all fake news, by the way. And this is so important to cover because so many people do not even bother to start the scholarship process because of these myths. And as a result, they just opt out to take out student loans. Okay, so for the first three misconceptions that I will be debunking, number one, scholarships are like trying to win the lottery, so don't even try. Two, my parents make too much money. You have to be low income in order to win. And three, since FAFSA didn't give me much, if not anything, I can't win scholarships. So, for one, winning multiple scholarships is actually more so about strategy and positivity. It is not mainly centered around luck. Two, as I mentioned earlier, I did not qualify for much FAFSA money because with my parents, they make well over six figures, but that did not stop me from winning scholarships and graduating debt free for two degrees. So I've been able to win over the years $125,000 in scholarships. And if you guess that amount, then congrats. You get a virtual cookie. And this will make sense later because I have an intention for having these congratulation pages pop up throughout this presentation. Anywho, back to the next slide will cover the next misconception. So many people think that you can only win scholarships during your high school senior year. However, the very first one I won was during my junior year of high school. Matter of fact, you can even win at any grade level, K through 12, such as how Google offers a $30,000 scholarship for those kindergarten all the way up to their senior year in high school. And you can even win if you are in homeschooled or if you're already in your 30s or you're 60 years old. There are scholarships for every age, every demographic. And as you saw earlier, you can win as a current college student, graduate student, PhD, whatever it may be. And to give you more visuals of this, first, I want you to take a guess. What are some of the major scholarships that I won? And as a hint, some were from celebrities and also a very powerful establishment. Now, if you guess that I won a scholarship from the famous boxer Floyd Mayweather, and also a scholarship from the famous rapper Future, if you're familiar with his music, and even a scholarship from the US Congress. They have the Congressional Black Caucus. They gave out a scholarship to me. Now, if you guess any of these, then congrats. Again, you get a virtual cupcake. Now, you'll probably notice that by now I've said this multiple times. Congratulations. However, this is intentional because I want you to get used to hearing that word when you start winning scholarships for yourself over and over again. So, moving on to more misconceptions. Many believe that you can only win scholarships if you excel academically or athletically, such as or even that, oh gosh, I'm Huh. Or even that only certain majors, such as those doing the STEM pathway, can win scholarships. And again, this is false. There are scholarships that do not require GPA, test scores, transcripts, etc. Instead, it may be more so dependent on things like leadership, community service, writing contests, or even certain talents you have. Also, as you saw earlier with the scholarships I've won, they were predominantly from journalism students, for journalism students, which falls under the liberal arts category. And additionally, I have helped students from a variety of non-STEM or non-journalism majors such as art, business, law school, you name it. Now, as far as scholarships I've helped other people win, approximately 70% of winners were studying in the US and 30% were studying outside of the United States. For example, this student seen here was actually the very first student I helped win a scholarship back in 2017. And this debunks our seventh myth, which was that there are no scholarships for international students. Also, recently, this student updated me that he was able to win yet again a full ride to study for his graduate degree, his master's degree, studying in the UK. So, I want you all to know that the advice that I provide is applicable and actionable to any student, whether you are in the US or not. no matter your study concentration, grade level, and of course, no matter your racial, gender, or religious background. Now, of course, it is one thing for me to just show you the faces of people with a number under them as if this were like Jeopardy or something. So I will also share with you all what the students I mentor are saying. So referring back to these two scholarships I won, just a year after I won this scholarship from the US Congress, these two students were able to win the same exact scholarship worth $10,000. And then we saw the same results for this student who was also a fellow journalism student such as myself. She too was able to win the Floyd Mayweather Foundation scholarship, which was a scholarship specifically for women in media. And also this scholarship that I mentioned earlier that I got from Future, the rapper, well, can you guess what? I was actually ineligible for this at first. Yes, that's right. You can apply for scholarships that you are ineligible for. It's just a matter of negotiating the eligibility. You can even apply and win scholarships from places you least expect to, such as from Greek life organizations, law firms, and so many other places that people automatically assume that they're ineligible for. However, because many people don't know this, that can work in your favor, making such awards less competitive for you. And with that, we have demystified the eighth misconception that there are no scholarships out there for me. See, sometimes you just have to bring a chair to the table rather than waiting for one to be made available. So, with that, let's move forward to what you all have come here for. How do I win scholarships? Well, you need what I like to call scope. Let me explain. So, SCOPE is an acronym that I came up with, which stands for strategy, competitiveness, organization, positivity, and endurance. Now, this is the basic foundation of what it takes to win scholarships, and feel free to take a screenshot of this and read it. Now, all these qualities are very important, but the most important ones are strategy and endurance. Many times people go into the scholarship process thinking it is just a matter of filling out the paperwork. They are not intentional with the writing in their essay. And by the way, your scholarship essay is by far the most important part of your application rather than your stats, your GPA, and things like that. And so they are not particular with the types of scholarships that they are applying for and end up wasting their time. And as for endurance, many people give up once they've been rejected 10 times over, 50 times over. And a lot of times, the same people who give up on applying are the same ones who never seek constructive criticism or professional help so they can learn and improve their application. I mean, just think about it. If you were to fail an assignment or even an entire class 10 times over, what would you do? You would go to tutoring, you would go to office hours to figure out why. Well, the same thing can be said when you're applying for scholarships and getting rejected. Now, I want to cover some of the common scholarship mistakes and problems that prevent people from winning, because it's one thing for me to teach you the do's of scholarships, but it's also just as important for me to cover the don'ts because I don't want you guys to repeat my beginner mistakes, and so that you can instead see faster winning results. And also, there are certain skills you need to build and master, which I will also be covering in this presentation. So, eight common scholarship mistakes are as follows. One, thinking scholarships are just a matter of filling out the paperwork. Two, applying for scholarship scams. Yes, unfortunately, you heard that right. Three, applying for only highly competitive scholarships. This was a main mistake I made, and that's why I teach people how to identify their domain and territory so you're not wasting your time. Number four, not focusing on your scholarship essay, which again is the most important part of your application. Five, thinking like your competition and not outside the box because you don't want to sound generic. Seven, oh, number six, not thinking from the point of view of the scholarship decision committee because you want to, again, stand out and not sound like everyone else. Seven, not being organized and rushing last minute applications. And lastly, number eight, missing deadlines and not paying attention to time zones. And time zones are so important. I have missed out on so many opportunities simply because I thought they were my time zone, but they were instead an hour ahead of me. Now, as for eight common scholarship problems people have, for one, they keep applying but never win. don't have research skills, don't have strategic communicational skills, don't have visual presentational skills. Perhaps they have strong academics and extracurriculars, but weak writing skills. Six, strong academic style writing skills, but not persuasive style writing. Persuasive style writing is something that they don't really teach us through public education schools. So this is very important when it comes to writing your scholarship essay because you're trying to convince people as to why they should choose you over someone else. Seven, perhaps the advice you've been given is very generic and has never helped you win. And lastly, number eight, you simply don't apply or give up because you feel overwhelmed or discouraged after facing rejection. So, where do I come in with all this? And how is my advice any different from perhaps what you have already heard that hasn't worked for you? Well, let me show you. Now, typically with external scholarship advice, it tends to be very generic. And personally, I never was able to win as a result of that advice. I had to figure out this whole entire process by myself. And also, external advice doesn't really go deep into detail, analyzing as to why a scholarship application was chosen as a winner over others. Additionally, you may be referred to scholarships that are simply a waste of your time because they are way too competitive to win in the first place. And again, this all ties back into this quote, which is like my philosophy for what I do. I also want to point out that there are other benefits from learning the strategies that I use to win scholarships for myself and for others. For instance, these techniques can help you with securing an internship, fellowship, or job since the processes are very, very similar. Also, your strategic communication skills will improve, overall financial literacy, and your research skills, which of course can help you with your academic performance in school. And as an example of these additional benefits in action, we have this student here who is enrolled in my online course and was able to win a fellowship for grad school as well as a $1,000 grant. Also, using these strategies for scholarships, I personally was able to obtain every single internship and job I ever applied to, meaning I never faced rejection from those types of applications. So, as an example, I recently just finished up my internship with ABC News Live and worked alongside Good Morning America. And this is important to note because winning a scholarship can be harder, much harder than obtaining a job or internship. So, if you can master my scholarship techniques, getting anything else you want in life, anything else you are applying to, it can be a walk in the park. I also want to highlight this student here. Her name is Sarah. She's an honor student who is trying to win scholarships to transfer from Nevada to Texas. And for context, in the past, she had applied for over a dozen scholarships. She sought advice from teachers and counselors and even read other scholarship books on how to win scholarships. And their advice was not working for her. She could never win. And then she finally came across what I do and was able to win seven scholarships back to back for a total of over $34,000. And another student I wanted to highlight is Chris. And get this, he was actually the valedictorian of his 6A high school, which means that he was a top student in a school of over 2,000 kids. And you would think that if you're a valedictorian, you would automatically get a full ride scholarship, right? Well, that was not the case for him, unfortunately. So during his sophomore year of college, he came across what I do to help others with scholarships and was able to win one of the most competitive ones in the US from Dr. Pepper worth $100,000. And also, he was able to win three other scholarships totaling at $3,000 after I edited his scholarship essays. So now he will be graduating debt free for not only his undergrad degree, but also for grad school since he needs a master's degree in order to become an art professor. And also, let's see. Oh yeah, I have so many more success stories to share to you all. So there's this student here. She was able to win $85,000 in scholarships, a Howard University student at HBCU, and one of those scholarships she won was a $40,000 Amazon Future Engineer scholarship. And then there was this student who won over $400,000 in scholarships. I'm still in awe that she did that. And she again is also attending an HBCU, Tuskegee University. And some more examples, we got this person who won a scholarship from Ford, from Taco Bell, and a senior in college who won from Virgin Galactic for aerospace engineering. And again, that just puts an emphasis on the fact that it is never too late to apply for scholarships. A lot of people don't know that you can apply as a current college student, and here she is winning a $15,000 scholarship her senior year. And again, this pertains, my advice can pertain to any study concentration. So this student is a law school student. She was able to win a $10,000 scholarship. And also international students, we got this student from Singapore and this student from India who were able to win study abroad scholarships. And so the reason why I do all this is simple. I want to do my part to make higher education more financially accessible, lower college dropout rates, diversify career fields, lower the student loan debt crisis because, my God, it's getting out of hand, lessen the socioeconomic gap, and overall change lives for the better.